I'm Krystle. I've loved dolls my whole life. I collect everything from porcelain to cloth, American Girl, neonates, and real care dolls. But my favorite is to collect and make Reborn dolls. There's Chloe, Grace, Jeremy, Maya, Yuki, Savannah, Zoe, Haley, Landon, Maisie, and Joshua. It isn't easy keeping up with my collection, but it sure is a lot of fun. Hi guys. So I wanted to come on today to talk about Reborn doll therapy. It's something I don't think I've really talked about on my channels before, so I just thought you could look at these cuties here while I talk about it. So a lot of Reborn doll collectors just collect because they're doll collectors and they enjoy dolls and they like the art form and they want to display them. And some people also collect for therapeutic reasons, or sometimes they collect for both. And so today I wanted to kind of focus on the therapeutic benefits of Reborn dolls, or just dolls in general. So the very first one, obviously, I want to touch upon that's been highlighted quite a bit recently in the media is using Reborn dolls as therapy in senior homes, especially with seniors who have dementia or Alzheimer's. It's been found that giving them a Reborn doll, or just a doll, just a baby doll in general, it doesn't even have to be a super hyper realistic looking Reborn doll. It can be any doll really that resembles a baby. It's been shown to help calm patients with Alzheimer's and dementia because babies have a calming effect. And what often will happen is it will bring them back to a time in their life when they were parents to a newborn baby. When they were a parent to a newborn baby. It will bring them back to that joyful time in their life, and it will help calm them. You know, a lot of times they will get anxious or have angry outbursts, and having a doll really helps bring them comfort, has a calming effect. It's just been proven to be extremely beneficial all around. So that is one way that Reborn dolls help people therapeutically. And a lot of senior residents now are starting to get baby dolls or Reborn dolls to help their patients. And I think that's wonderful. Another benefit, therapeutic wise, is another one that's, I guess, it's really, I think, the main focal point in the media, and it's kind of an assumption that people make about Reborn dolls that isn't always true, but in some cases it is. But I think what I'm about to say is, it seems like the media and people who aren't in the hobby immediately think that this is the reason why all of us are into Reborns. Like, they make a generalization that everyone in this hobby collects for this reason, and that is to deal with the loss of a baby, whether it's miscarriage, stillborn, SIDS, whatever the case may be. It's kind of like our hobby is labeled as being used for that. And yes, in some cases it is, but it's not everyone in this hobby. And that's one thing I really wanted to point out. Like, it's just, I really want to try to get away from a generalization of our hobby. And I really want people to realize that there's a broad, I guess, a broad spectrum of reasons why people collect. And so, yes, some people do use it to cope with the loss of an infant. And yes, it's not for everyone. I know that some people who have lost infants have said for them personally, you know, if they collected dolls before they lost the child, they personally found that they couldn't play with their dolls after the loss of their child because it was too traumatic, and it didn't help them. It made them feel more sad. And so they had to put their collection away for a while until they dealt with that grief. But for other people, and you know, and some people have said that aren't in the hobby, they're like, I know if it was me, like, that lost a baby, I don't think that this would help me. It would make me more sad. And that may be the case for some people, but there are some people that do find comfort in having a reborn baby after they've lost an infant. You know, their arms may feel empty, and holding, you know, a reborn doll can really have healing effects for some people. Another aspect is people who can't have children. And I know the main argument of people not in the hobby is, well, why don't you just adopt instead of spending all this money on the dolls? And the fact of the matter is that adoption is not for everyone. Yes, there's plenty of children out there that need loving families, and there's plenty of people who will love to provide that for them. But there's other people who it's just not for them for whatever their reasons are. But also another big factor is, it isn't an easy process to adopt. It is not an easy process. It's very expensive, and it can be a very lengthy, stressful process. There's always the chance that, you know, a parent could back out of putting their child up for adoption, and here you've gotten your hopes up, and you're thinking you're going to be a parent, and then the birth parent decides to keep the child, and then you're devastated. I mean, I've heard of that happening. There's so many factors into it. And also not everyone is in the position to adopt, whether it be financially or whatever. And, you know, you have to pass a home study, and not everyone can do that. Not everyone is in a position to do that. So there's so many factors that can go into that. And I really don't want people to automatically jump on that bandwagon saying, well, why don't you adopt then? It's not always the case. There may even be some people that have medical problems, and therefore medically they just can't parent. They just medically cannot handle that responsibility. And so to help them deal with that, they have their reborn dolls, and there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people get a lot of comfort out of it. And yes, it's nowhere near like having a real baby, obviously, but it can help take the sting out of it a little bit for some people. It can help them cope with the fact that they're not going to have a child, and they can get their nurturing out through a reborn doll. And speaking of medical issues, anyone that has medical problems or health issues can find great benefit in reborn dolls. I personally myself, I have chronic illness. I have many health problems. Excuse me. And I know for me, on the days, I mean, there are some days where I am really not well to the point that I can't even play with my dolls. Like, there's been times where I'm in so much pain that I can't even hold my dolls because it hurts my body more and it hurts a lot. Or there's times where I'm experiencing severe nausea that is made worse by moving around, and so the only thing I can do is lay down and not move. And so in times like that, I can't play with my dolls. But in other times when I'm dealing with the stresses of my health, sometimes just picking up one of my reborns and sitting with them on the couch and watching TV while cuddling one, or even just changing their outfit, you know, just the act of sitting down, changing their outfit. It's a temporary distraction from the stresses that come with chronic illness. And it's very calming. It's very stress-free. I find it's very soothing, and it's just, you know, sometimes when I'm having a really stressful day, I will just go and pick up one of my dolls, and I, within minutes, will feel much calmer, much more relaxed, more focused, and I will just feel like, okay, I can, you know, put the stresses aside and I can move on with my day. And you know, my friend Paula has talked to me about it, and she has the same, the dolls have the same effect on her. And I'll say even my American Girl dolls, like when I am really stressed out or not feeling well or upset, just sitting down and changing their outfit and brushing their hair and fixing their hair, it's almost like a form of meditation for me, because I find that the instant that I start changing their clothes and fixing their hair, and sometimes even just sitting and brushing their hair for a few minutes, it's like every stress that's in my brain that I can't shut off, like, you know, you get all those thoughts in your head that's like, oh, there's this, I gotta do this, and oh, I'm stressed about this, and this, and like, you just can't turn your brain off. Well, as soon as I sit down and start playing with my dolls, whether it be American Girl or Reborns, every stressful thought in my head literally shuts out. It's gone. And I'm completely 100% focused on playing with the dolls, changing their outfit, or achieving a hairstyle I want on my American Girl doll, and brushing their hair, or whatever the case may be. And I'm so focused on that it's like my brain goes quiet for once. And so I feel like it's a form of meditation for me. And it just has a very beneficial calming effect for me. And I find once I'm finished and I put the, you know, my dolls away, I feel so much better. And so that's another form of reborn therapy for people with chronic illness. It is definitely a nice distraction. It's a big help. And then finally, I know a lot of people I've heard in the community, they have their reborns to help with their anxiety, which kind of goes along the same thing that I was saying for chronic illness, that I personally find when I'm stressed or anxious or not feeling well, you know, playing with my dolls kind of shuts all that out, and it makes me calmer, and it makes me feel happy, joyful, carefree. It kind of brings you back to that place in your childhood when you would just go into your bedroom and play with your toys for hours on end and you wouldn't have a care in the world. That's what it brings about for me, that carefree time in your life when you didn't have adult problems to worry about. And I think, you know, that ties in as well, like for those in, you know, in the hobby that deal with anxiety or depression, it kind of has that same effect. So I won't really say much more about that because I feel like I should have probably grouped that together with the chronic illness portion, because I feel like it has the same effect on both of those issues. And I think that's wonderful. And so really, to sum it up, what it boils down to is I feel like the therapeutic benefits of doll collecting can really be seen in any type of hobby. And I think that's what people need to realize, is that it doesn't matter what hobby you have. If it brings you joy, peace, if it brings you calmness, if it makes you feel more carefree and lighthearted and provides you fun and entertainment, then I don't think it matters what your hobby is. Because I feel like the same could be said about any hobby. Like for me, another big hobby of mine is music. And music has the same effect on me. I can put on my favorite singer, i.e. Taylor Swift at the moment, but I can put her music on and I can listen to it and sing along to it for like an hour, sometimes even 2 hours. And during those hours that I'm listening to her music and I'm singing, every bit of stress that I have disappears and my mood instantly boosts. Like if I'm feeling sad or down and I put on my favorite music, my mood is instantly boosted and all of a sudden my day is so much brighter and I feel like I can conquer the world. And so I kind of feel like, you know, it has the same effect. And so, you know, for some people, they like to collect trains or cars or figurines or toys. Some people are very much into video games, like Alex. He loves his video games and he can play a video game for hours. And for him, that is his form of de-stressing. And I can guarantee that when he plays video games, he gets the same feelings that I do when I play with my dolls or when I listen to music, or even when I do crafting like scrapbooking or card making. That's another thing that I enjoy doing that de-stresses me. And you are so focused on creating that card or creating that scrapbook page layout that every other concern on your brain just goes away. It just silences your brain from all those stresses. And so I think that's what I want to really point out is, you know, for those who aren't in the Reborn hobby, just realize that it has the same effect on people as any other hobby. It's no different than any other hobby. If you really love video games, look at it like this is our version of video games. Like this is what brings us the same feelings that it brings you when you're playing video games. There's no difference. So all hobbies, in my opinion, have therapeutic benefits, have, you know, it reduces stress and anxiety. And what all hobbies, in my opinion, have in common is play. they're all forms of play. And it is so important as adults to have time in our lives to play. Whatever that play looks like to you, everyone will have, like I said, everyone will have differences in that. Everyone will have different hobbies and different forms of play that they enjoy, but they're all play, and they all are very important to help us deal with the stresses in life, because like I said, it brings you back to your childhood. When you're a child, when you play, you are carefree. You don't have a worry in the world. You're just playing, you're enjoying, you're having fun, and you're being lighthearted. And so play as an adult has the same benefits, because, you know, as adults, we do have stresses in life that we didn't have as children. And so play helps with those. And play, it's just so important. I can't stress it enough. It's so important. If you don't have any sort of hobby in your life, you're going to be high anxiety. I can guarantee it. You're not going to have anything to unwind, you know, and it can even, for some people, it's just reading books or watching TV or watching movies. You know, all those things help us unwind. And the last thought I want to say for play is it keeps you young at heart. It can actually have health benefits in your life, because the less stress you have, the more potential you have to live a longer life. And so playing keeps you young. It keeps you young at heart, and it's good. It's a good thing. So I think that's all I wanted to touch upon, just talking about the different forms of reborn doll therapy and just play therapy in general, no matter what form of play you enjoy, and how important it is to have in your life as an adult. So I hope that you found this video informative and gives you, you know, if you're not in the hobby, it gives you a little more insight into all the different ways that collectors enjoy the hobby. It's not a one size fits all. There's, you know, everyone does the hobby a little bit differently, and that's what I really wanted to stress. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the babies hanging out here. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching this video, and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more of my videos, okay, I don't know why oh, there we go. My camera's focusing now. It was all blurry. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any new videos I upload. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.